ক্যান্টে এসছে
If my learned friend wants, sorry,
তুমি কি আমাকে অ্যালাউ করবে না তুমি অবজেকশন করলে না অ্যালাউ করলে তুমি জজ সাহেব অ্যালাউ করে দেবে
if my learned friend, my lord, yesterday survey can application, I got it, my lord. I gone through it, my lord. Preliminary objection is there, my lord. I want the objective. Why I will place it later on. First, I place my case, my lord. Thereafter, why I make the objection, my lord, I will do it. Because the first instance, the board says before by starting.
Conceding to that, if he is allowed, then we can have a
My lord,
direction
I
of copy.
yes it will be
come
helpful for all of us. It will be
so that we can hear it out, or other
but we have filed the application on the similar ground. It was allowed by your lordship yesterday, but here my lord,
Mr. Samim,
Yes.
if you concede, then we can pass a order to that effect, recording your opposition and allowing them so that they can also make their submission. We can
At the time of passing the order, my lord, pass that order, my lord, because already, my lord, in this two petition already allowed, but preliminary objection, my lord, record my preliminary objection.
আচ্ছা সেটা অ্যালাউ করে দিতে বলছেন জজ সাহেব, করে তুমি একটা কপি আমাকে দিলে সুবিধা হবে সেটাই বলছি। তাহলে তুমি অ্যালাউ করে নাও অ্যাপ্লিকেশন। আচ্ছা
My lord, first objection is made by the board that they themselves objecting in two grounds, which I collect for last 3 days. One is that who are TET qualified with B.Ed degree, they themselves says that they are not at all eligible for participation, as per my humble understanding. First. Second is that, my lord, they says whosoever is participated in the TET 2023 in pursuance of 2023 to 2025 batch, they are also not eligible. So who are eligible? Because in our state, because the state regime, how it came, my lord, that is the most important thing. In our country's primary education setup, my lord, education is a concurrent list subject. State as well as central government may make rule in this regard, may make legislation in this regard. First time in the year 2009, after the constitutional amendment in the way of Article 21A, right to education. This 21A says about right to education.
yes.
The state shall provide, the state is all endeavor of the state. Each and every word is very. The state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of age of 6 to 14 years in such manner as the state may by law determine. So it is state duty to give free and compulsory education to all of the 6 to 14 years children, my lord. Now, in the light of that, my lord, right of children to free and compulsory education act 2009 came out, my lord. Kindly see, my lord. Kindly turn section 23. This is the qualification.
Yes.
Section 23. Qualification for appointment and terms and condition of service of teacher. Any person possessing such minimum qualification as laid down by on academic authority authorized by the central government by notification shall be eligible for appointment as a teacher. Who is that academic authority? Central government says the NCTE is the academic authority. So NCT is the central legislation. NCT, how the NCT cropped up? NCT cropped up by a central legislation, so that is a central act. NCT, by that central legislation, last occasion where I handed over this spiral binding, that is, I believe that is
Let's
with
go with that record. We'll find
I'm
out.
extremely sorry, my lord. I have just one copy, my lord. So NCT Act is a central act, and NCT is academic authority chosen by the central government by a central legislation. So everything is by a central legislation. Now, my lord, what is state? I came in thereafter, my lord. What is state? So everything is in the domain of the central government, the complete domain of the central government. Not a single wording herein is in the domain of the state government. Now, my lord, kindly see the NCT notification. Thereafter, I place the guideline. Extension validity of life.
বাইন্ডিংটা না নিয়ে
আর তোমাদের
দিয়েছিল
আমি বলে
ওই আগের রেকর্ডের সাথে চলে গেছে যেটা লাহি
নয় 6/2021 সব মুখস্থ
পাসিং ক্যান্ডিডেটস
21
হ্যাঁ রাতুল বিশ্বাসেরটা আছে ওনারটা চলে গেছে ইয়েস
But this is a notification by the NCTE. Very important, my lord. To all secretaries, got it, my lord? Commissioner of Education of State Government. It is communicated. Oblique duties. Subject. Extension of validity period of teacher eligibility test certificate. Got it, my lord? Madam oblique sir, in accordance with the decision of the National Council for Teacher Education, in its 50th general body meeting, and the approval of the MOE, vide letter number such and such, the second sentence of para 11 of the guidelines for conducting teacher eligibility test issued by NCT vide letter number such and such, dated such and such, which is within court. The validity period of TET qualifying certificate for appointment will be decided by the appropriate government, subject to a maximum of 7 years for all categories. It was earlier, TET certificate validity was 7 years, shall be substituted by within court. The validity period of TET qualifying certificate for appointment, unless otherwise notified by the appropriate government, would remain valid for life. Very important. I read it again. Why I read it again? I will explain. The validity period of TET qualifying certificate for appointment, unless otherwise notified by the appropriate government. Who is that appropriate government? The state government. Yielded to one single notification. That state government of West Bengal, denying that proposition, issued a notification that no, in our state,
yes
in our state, they give the validity of the TET certificate 5 years, or they cancel that TET certificate whosoever got TET certificate with B.Ed degree, or whosoever got TET certificate with untrained degree, or whosoever got TET certificate any other means. Suppose they can issue it anytime. But point is that, my lord, if that's so, even as argument's sake, if that's so, if state government says no, we will not give the validity of that TET certificate lifetime. We will give validity for 20 years or 10 years, suppose. That will not be prevail. My lord is well aware of the fact that doctrine of repugnancy, Article 254. If there is a conflict between state government and central government legislation, any form, whether in the form of legislation, whether in the form of notification, then central government legislation will prevail. That is doctrine of prevalence, Article 2. In this score, In this matter, there is not a single notification by the state government regarding of TET certificate validity. For for this matter, make it simpler, I will say that once a TET pass, always a TET pass. Once a Madhyamik pass, always a Madhyamik pass. Once a LLB pass. Once a graduate, always a graduate. Why I say so, I will explain.
Yes.
Why I say so, I explain it. Suppose nowadays, my lord, usually 3 years graduation, new education policy came up, NEP. New education policy, this professional course, various professional, even the B.Ed degree. Whosoever wants to do the B.Ed degree, after some time, my lord, this B.Ed college or DLED college is no longer the validity. Because of that, according to the NEP, they want to bring it in a combined mode, graduation with B.Ed. So that reduce 1 year, that would become 4 years course, graduate with B.Ed. Now B.Ed is 2 years course and graduation is 3 years course. They combined it and make it 4 years in new NEP, although that is not take effect of. For the argument, say, suppose that take effect from the year 2027. Is it mean the earlier B.Ed degree become invalid or earlier DLED degree become invalid? Or whosoever in service by that B.Ed degree or DLED degree, that become redundant? I ask this question to myself. No, not at all. Now, my lord, I want to show, because I believe, my lord, that 2010, that a minimum eligibility.
Yes. The
What-
13th November, no.
This
23rd August.
23rd August. If my lord handed right. My lord,
that is annexed in my application. You will also kindly see it from my application. Page 36. That is annexed in my application.
না এইটা দিয়ে দিন, কারণ এইটা লাগবে, কারণ আমি এই 2018টাও দেখাবো। তোমার 2018টা কি অ্যানেক্স করা আছে ওই বিয়েটা?
না না না, আসলে দেখতে হবে।
What in my lord?
Yes.
My lord, yes. My lord, kindly see the heading. In exercise of power conferred by subsection of section 23, which I mentioned, my lord. That is, being an academic authority, NCT suggested of the right of children to free and in pursuance of notification number such and such, issued by the Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India, the National Council for Teacher Education, NCT, hereby lays down the following minimum qualification for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in class 1 to 8 in a school referred to in clause N of section 2 of the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009 with effect from the date of this notification. Now, my lord, came in the minimum qualification. Class 1 to 5. I read it slowly. A, senior secondary or its equivalent with at least 50% marks and a 2-year diploma in elementary education by whatever name shown. Known. There is 2 types of education. One is academic, higher secondary, graduation. This is a pure academic. Another one is after there is another course that is called professional course or teachers training course. Thereafter, or is there. So or means disjunctive clause. So either you have that combination, HS with diploma in elementary education, or senior secondary or its equivalent with at least 45% marks and 2 years diploma in elementary education by whatever name known in accordance with the NCT. I just keep it because or means all are disjunctive clause. You either you have to that to combination degree. Now, Mala turn very next page. This is come under column A. One column A. Now, Mala turn. And so after adding these two, academic and professional qualification, and pass in the teacher eligibility test to be conducted by the appropriate government. So conducted by whom? By the appropriate government. That means government of West Bengal. Now in our state, why I mentioned it, in our state appropriate government give this responsibility to the West Bengal Board of Primary Education. But actually it's conducted by whom? By the state government. In our state, TET is conducted by the West Bengal Board of Primary Education. DLED course is conducted by the West Bengal Board of Primary Education. And selection process is also conducted by the West Bengal Board of Primary Education.
Yes.
So this is with TET. So 3 minimum qualification is required. One is academic qualification, another one is professional qualification, another one is one-day test. That is TET is one-day test. I will place thereafter because this is 2010 memo. Thereafter, NCT state conduct right. Thereafter, NCT, my lord, because they decide that TET is a minimum eligibility criteria along with these two. NCT issued this guideline. Guideline. একটা কপিও আছে তোমাকে দিয়ে দিচ্ছি
11 অ্যাপ্লিকেশন অ্যানেক্স
এই যে রিট পিটিশন আছে বল
অ্যাপ্লিকেশন অ্যানেক্স
My lord, may I read from the first line again. To all secretaries stroke commissioner of education of state government stroke UTs subject guideline for conducting teacher eligibility test under the right of children to free and compulsory education act 2009 sir oblique madam in accordance with the provision of subsection 1 council for teacher education had been notification dated 23rd August 2010 that is which I placed it laid down the minimum qualification for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in class 1 to 8. It had been inter alia provided that one of the essential qualification for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in any of the school referred to in clause N of section 2 of the RT Act is that he/she should pass the teacher eligibility test which will be conducted by the appropriate government in accordance with the guideline framed by the NCTE. So it is NCT's dictum to all of the state. You ought to follow this guideline, and in this regard, please find enclosed a guideline for conducting the teacher eligibility test, and this may be brought to the knowledge of all concerned. Usually,
Yes. Yes.
usual practice is that, my lord, guideline is not mandatory, is not binding. But this is a unique type of situation, and because this emphasis from the constitutional right. Constitution says state government ought to take that endeavor. They ought to give free and compulsory education from class 1 to 8 student. But free and compulsory education ought to given. And by the Right to Education Act, central government appoint an academic authority, that is NCT, to give the quality education throughout the country. They want that quality education enhancement and give an equal opportunity to all of the students. They enhance it. And for that proposition, this state come. And for that reason, this guideline become mandatory. And Supreme Court in Shiv Kumar Pathak case says this guideline is mandatory. I will place later on. And by following that Shiv Kumar Pathak, initially this board don't want to give the TET pass certificate, and this court passed that order. I will place later on, my lord, when I place the judgment. I place the guideline first, thereafter I place that judgment, my lord.
Yes.
Guideline for conducting teacher eligibility test, background and rationale. The implementation of right of children to free and compulsory education act 2009 requires the recruitment of a large number of teachers across the country in a time-bound manner. In spite of enormity of the task, it is desirable to ensure that quality recruitment for recruitment of teachers are not diluted at any cost. It is therefore necessary to ensure that the person recruited as a teacher possesses the essential aptitude and ability to meet the challenges of teaching at the primary and upper primary level. I just pause it here because of that, my lord. Because in pursuance of that, when NCT issued that notification, the question cropped up. Because in RTF itself says, because at that point of time in our country, there was not adequate number of teachers training institutes. So in the statute itself, they give 5 years relaxation. At that period of time, from 2010 to 2015, any recruitment conducted by any authority throughout the country, they get that relaxation. They can appoint a teacher with relaxed degree. That means without DLED pass. At that point of time, even by taking that cue in our state also, several selection process was conducted. But after crossing that time, not a single appointment has been given, or they ought not to given, in violation of NCT minimum eligibility criteria.
But my landed friend proceed further, my lord. At least my application be decided, because I have to give reply to them.
You will give reply.
But unless I have been added in the as parties in the writ petition and gone through the copy of the writ petition, it is difficult for me to give reply to it. But it will take a longer time. But he will submit, then I'll make my submission, then will he reply. Mr. Sharna will be there. It will be a chaos situation. Ultimately, the last date is on Tuesday. Whatever maybe
whatever my lord wants to do, it's upon the court.
If you also kindly allow me my application, I'll ask them to give me a copy and fix it on Monday. I'll come back. Because I have to give answer, I have to go through this writ petition.
Malad, they already gone through. Malad, they in other petition, they already make their respective submission. Malad, if that's so, Malad, I will lose.
Who are the applicants here?
The Malad, they are the two applicants. They are Malad, the TET qualified. There is no quarrel on that. They are TET qualified DLED candidate. Malad, they are eligible for participate in the selection process. Malad, they have initially a writ petition was filed before this honorable court. I have showed to your lordship on the last occasion, that is page 61, whereby the TET certificate, TET qualification, rather the TET eligibility criteria, TET eligibility issued in
2022.
2022.
Your client is 2022.
Yes.
No. My client is.
But they are that is the reason I have to know.
Malad, that is not a subject matter of this case. That's why, Malad, I satisfy this court that never ought to be a subject matter of that matter. That's why I satisfy this court.
That is the reason, Madam, praying if you will also kindly allow me. Because
that is not a subject
2022,
matter.
Mr. Samim was there. He added as a party in the said writ petition.
Malad, in our writ petition, there are even TET 2014 also, as well as 2022. Obviously, because that is the minimum.
Kindly see page 64. Mr. Samim was there. The order of Bangla Justice Mantha, whereby he was added as a party since his state certificate was under challenge. Page 64.
Not this petitioner, my lord. No, they are not that. They are not that petitioner, my lord.
And there is an interim order subsisting till today, and the writ petition is pending.
No. What is your locus in this application?
Number, I have challenged these
petitioners are also pursuing to get into the process of recruitment.
Selection process.
And you have qualified, now you are also eligible to participate
in the selection process. But if they are otherwise allowed My pool of selection will be
It's a-
decreased.
I mean, they allow the application, give them the copy.
Yes, I can give it, but my lord, today, my lord, I continue, my lord. I make my submission. Then, if he wants to reply on Monday, my lord, because of that, my lord.
Can 1 of 2025, this is an application.
হ্যাঁ, তুমি বলো না।
Addition of party. Learned advocate, Mr. Tirthosh Ghosh, learned advocate for the petitioner, submits that the, sorry, applicants. Applicants are eligible to participate in the ongoing process of recruitment of assistant teachers for primary schools with a notification dated 25th September 2025. In which process the petitioners intend to participate. As such, the petitioners, applicants are necessary parties. Petitioners / opposite parties করে দেবে। Mr. Firdaus Samim, learned advocate for the petitioners opposite party, gives the matter to the discretion of the court. It is not in dispute that the it is not in dispute. It is contended by the petitioner that they are eligible to participate in the ongoing recruitment process with a notification dated 25th September 2025. In light of the above, this court finds that these petitioners are necessary party. According to respondent numbers
7 and 8.
7 and 8. Is added respondent number, they be included as added respondent 7 and 8. Can 1 of 2025 disposed of.
Let the writ petition be amendment and copy of the pleadings be
Advocate for the
supplied.
petitioner is directed to hand copy of the writ petition along with its annexes to the learned advocate for added respondents. The writ petition be amended accordingly. এই আগেরটা না বলতে হবে কথাটা বলা হয় ঠিক আছে can 1 of 20 disposed of. Yes,
Much obliged.
না আসছে না এখন এটা হিয়ারিং হয়ে যাক তারপর লিস্ট করে জবাব
My lord, now I place that because the flow is good. But now I place the para 2 of that guideline. In accordance with provision of subsection 1 of section 23 of the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009, National Council for Teacher Education (NCT) has laid down the minimum qualification for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in class 1 to 8. Vide its notification dated August 23, 2010. A copy of the notification is attached as Annexure 1. One of the essential qualifications for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in any of the schools referred to in Clause N of Section 2 of RT Act is that he/she should pass the teacher eligibility test, which will be conducted by the appropriate government. The rationale for including the TET as a minimum qualification for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher is as under. 1. It would bring national standards. So TET is not about the state, only a state standard. State is all about to bring the national standard. My contention is that, my lord, if they want to cancel it, one and only the NCTE can revoke it. I will place the whole guideline. There is no such clause or any notification for revocation of TET certificate, but it never be. Why? Because of that, suppose my lord, a madhyamik pass, it never be. If a madhyamik pass is passed, if a certificate is given, thereafter there is no such revocation clause. In the whole guideline, I placed it whole as a whole. at least three para obviously. There is no such revocation or cancellation clause.
Yes.
I just read it. It would bring national standard and benchmark of teacher quality in the recruitment process. It would induce teacher education institution and student from this institution to further improve their performance standard. So, test, what is the intention? Of the TET, it is clear from the para 2, now para 3. It would send a positive signal to all stakeholders that the government lays special emphasis on teacher quality. So this state bringing the standard in national level, number one. To upgrade, to upgrade the standard of the teacher. That is the whole purpose. Now kindly see the very next two paragraphs, that is important. The TET examination may be conducted by a suitable professional body designated by the appropriate government for the purpose. In our state government designated the West Bengal Board of Primary Education to conduct it. That's why they conduct, but they ought to follow the NCT guideline.
Yes.
It will be conducted in accordance with the guideline here under. Eligibility. 5. The following person shall be eligible for appearing in the TET: a person who has acquired the academic qualification. There is no such plural. A person who is pursuing. That means pursuing is already on a place. I will not place it here. Whosoever entered in the course is also eligible. So TET purpose is not the teacher's training knowledge. If a person, because I just compared, if a person suppose who complete the teacher's training course and not complete the teacher's training course, both participate in TET. Who is more talented? Without completing the DL talented.
How?
Because of that, he have no knowledge of pedagogy. Yes, but kindly see, suppose
This is
yes. Why?
Bad analogy.
No. With deepest of respect,
Person who has passed MSc is a better student than person who is pursuing MSc Part 1 with good marks in BSc honors. This analogy cannot be.
With the best of respect, I just clear myself, my lord.
There is-
Suppose, my lord, joint entrance examination. Suppose, my lord, joint entrance examination. Joint entrance examination is cleared by a 7th pass student and cleared by 12th pass student. Who is more talented? The
No,
person
this
who is 7th pass.
separate. This is separate issue.
My lord, TET is a one-day examination because of my learned their place. They are not so talented. They are not knowledgeable.
No,
This is-
if you make a general principle, then it should be applied generally.
Yes, my lord.
And don't give an example of any exception. That seven pass is passing joint entrance.
My lord,
Seven pass is
here, my lord, TET is with the best of respect, my lord. TET is allowed the pursuing candidate as well as the complete student.
It is correct.
So, my lord, that is not that TET is all about the professional qualification. TET is my whole endeavor is that TET is a complete separate entity, separate examination. It's a one-day examination. Kindly turn very next page. Structure and content of TET. It will give a clear picture what is TET. Para 6, my lord. The structure and content of the TET is given in the following paragraph. All question will be multiple choice question, each carrying 1 marks with 4 alternative, out of which 1 answer will be correct. There will be no negative marking. The examining body should strictly adhere to the structure and content of the TET specified below. 7. There will be 2 papers of the TET. Part 1 will be a person intend to be a teacher for class 1 to 5. Paper 2 will be a person who intend to be a teacher for class 6 to 8. Malat, kindly see very next paragraph, very next column. Paper 1 for class 1 to 5. Number of MCQs 150. Duration of examination 1 and a half year. That is one-day examination. Child development and pedagogy 30 marks. Language 30 marks. Language 2 30 marks, mathematics 30 marks, environmental studies 30 marks. So it is a one-day examination, nothing more, nothing less. So one-day examination, pursuing candidate is also allowed, B.Ed pass is also allowed. Even in our state, in the TET 2014, untrained was also allowed. In TET 2014, there was untrained allowed, B.Ed passed allowed, DLED passed, allowed, and everyone got TET certificate. Not a single notification in this regard that their TET certificate is cancelled. If that's so, that means after that TET regime came, that means 2010 or 11 onwards, because the guideline came in the 2011, every certificate ought to cancel. Most of the certificate ought to cancel. Why? Because most of the person, because in the year 2016 selection process, 42,949 vacancy was there. Out of 42,940 vacancy, only 11,000 odd candidate was DLED pass, and others are untrained. So at that point of time, when they passed TET, general analogy is that there was untrained, so their certificate will gone.
No,
Not at all.
Just interrupting, Malad.
তুমি বলবে তুমি যখন
No, just Malad, the order of the division bench, Malad, we are issuing TET certificate those who only got the training.
I placed it. I will place it.
Candidates were issuing TET certificate 2014.
We are
The
not.
order of the division bench said whenever he will pass training, he will issue TET.
Okay.
We are not issuing. That is why my
Now I place my. What is their contention? Their contention is that when they appeared in TET, at that point of time, there was B.Ed. B.Ed is cancelled by the Apex Court in Devesh Sharma. So their TET certificate will gone. Now their stand is so. So generally, same analogy came here. If they say so, at that point of time when they passed TET, if they was untrained, same analogy came here, then their certificate will also go. Because of that, we also subsequently trained as the who are in service. They also they passed trained TET earlier with an untrained as an untrained candidate. Subsequently, they get that DLED training. Same analogy here. If they protect their interest who are in service, why they not protect our interest? form petition. The general analogy is that, my lord, and this is a Supreme Court verdict. Right to education includes right to, it is a, because it's a statutory right. Right to education includes right to teach from a good teacher. Until and unless there is a huge number of people came in this selection process, how could I get a good teacher? It's a general probability. If higher number participate in a selection process, there are higher probability to get a good teacher. It's a general analogy, because they ought to gone through a selection process. That is itself a hard process, a competitive process. That's my lord. So that is my contention is that, my lord, kindly see the certificate clause. That is before that, my lord, qualifying marks, para 9, and applicability. Para 9, qualifying marks. A person who score 60% or more in the TET exam will be considered as TET pass, school management, such and such. I just skip it. So 60% marks ought to, because for SC, ST, for others, 55 marks, that is 82 marks. Later on, this High Court have judgment in this regard. Applicability, 10. TET conducted by central government shall apply to all schools referred to in subclause 1A of section 2 of the RT Act. That means CTET is for the central government school. TET conducted by the state government oblique UT will legislature shall apply to a school to the state government UT, the legislature and local authority referred to, and a school referred to subclause 2N of section 2 of Act in the state of UT. That means, and a school at 1 and 2 may also consider eligibility of candidates who have obtained TET certificate awarded by another state oblique UT legislator. In case of state government UT with the legislature decided not to conduct TET, a school at 1 and 2 in that state UT consider that TET conducted by the central government. So that means if central government conducted CTET, that is applicable to all the central government school. The state government applicable to state government school. If another state, suppose West Bengal government conducted, this is conducted by West Bengal Board of Primary Education. They conducted, they issued certificate. If the Assam government wants, they want to use the West Bengal government, they can do so. And not only that, my lord, if they want to use CTET, they can do so. That is the whole purpose of that. A school referred to in subclause 4 of clause N, section 2 of RT Act may exercise the option considering either TET conducted by the central government. 2.4 is the unaided school. So unaided school can use CTET to state TET, any TET. So awarding of TET certificate is very important. So that's why para 11, the frequency of conduct of TET and validity period of TET certificate. The appropriate government should conduct a TET at least once every year. The validity period of TET qualifying certificate for appointment will be decided by the appropriate government subject to a maximum of 7 years, which later on by that notification become lifetime for all categories, but there will be no restriction on the number of attempts a person can take acquiring a TET certificate. A person who has qualified TET may also appear again for improving his or her score. Procedure for conduct TET, the examining body shall formulate a detailed procedure and lay down the instruction for conduct of the TET. Candidates should be informed that a very serious view will be taken on any malpractice or impersonation. So, if even a candidate use any malpractices, suppose because earlier matter, my learned friend says that some misrepresented. Misrepresentation is under the domain of the conducting authority. If they want to cancel the TET certificate by exercising this para 12, they can cancel it. Whether there is any cancellation notification? No, answer is no. Now, my lord, legal dispute, I just skip it. Next paragraph, that is very important. Para 4.
14.
Para 14. The appropriate government conducting the test shall award a TET certificate. Every petitioner herein is awarded TET certificate. To all successful candidates, the certificate should contain the name, address of the candidate, date of birth, registration number, year, month of award of certificate, marks obtained in each paper. The certificate may be electronically generated with adequate security features. Appropriate may consider utilizing the service of the specialized agencies for issuing dematerialized TET certificate, that is DMAT, TET certificate as a security features to avoid any kind of malpractices. My lord,
Yes. Yes.
my lord, why I read it? The reason of reading is that what would contain of the TET certificate, that is also mentioned, but nowhere it is mentioned by which means, by which, on the basis of which educational qualification he gathered that TET certificate, that is not mentioned. Why? Because of that, he at that point of time, when TET conduct notification was there, at that point of time, whatever the degree, because degree might be changes time to time, then like NEP came. Suppose tomorrow or day after tomorrow, there is one notification came, no, DLED course ought to be 5 years. Might be came. That doesn't mean TET certificate will go. TET certificate is a unique. That's why in the minimum eligibility criteria, by that disjunctive clause or later on by para B, after adding this adjunctive clause and the TET was there. So TET is an unique test for the benchmark of the teacher's quality. Bring the teacher's quality in the same standard throughout the country. That is the purpose of TET. And once a TET pass, always a TET pass. My whole endeavor of that this submission is that, my lord. Once a TET pass, always a TET pass, until and unless it is revoked on the grounds of there is revocation of 2 grounds is there. I read it again and again. 2 grounds is, one is malpractice, one is impersonation, and only the authority who conduct it, they can recall it on that 2 score. There is no other cancellation clause, there is no revocation clause. And now, my lord, monitoring.
The petitioners have passed TET in which year? You give the chart 1 to suppose 1 to 7 or something.
They are handwritten, my lord. I will give it tomorrow because handwritten, my lord. They have several years. If my lord, it is all not good because of that.
Give the
Because
year.
some of them is 2014, some of them 2000. Even one of the candidate, he passed 3 TET. TET 2014, TET 2022, as well as TET 2023.
2014 is there then?
2022 and 2023. Some of the candidate passed 2 TET, some of the candidate even passed 3 TET. Okay. And why they participate? Because the numbering, because in selection process, suppose TET allocated number is 5. So if a person get higher number, he got higher marks. So that's why we appeared again and again. If I got, suppose earlier year he got out of 150, suppose he got 100. This year he got 110. So he will use that 110 certificate. Okay. Because of that, he got the higher number. And then in the competition, he
will get better
advantage. For that reason, they participated again and again. Now, my lord, monitoring. Following measures would be taken for monitoring the quality and administration of the TET. The appropriate government shall appoint a nodal officer for the purpose of TET. NCT would organize meeting of nodal officers at least once every year. So each and every TET, after conducting it, because their frequency of TET must be 1 year, and not only that, after conducting, there is a meeting with NCT, whether as per this guideline or not. Because what is the purpose of this guideline? Purpose of this guideline is that to bring this elementary education in the same standard throughout the country. For that reason, that's why rationale is mentioned in the guideline. For that reason, they bring this state conduct guideline with a definite subject, that is pedagogy, language,
No.
mathematics. So that is the purpose of the TET. And the one set TET pass, the cost of repetition, my lord, I say it, one set TET pass, always a TET pass. So there is no such revocation clause. There is no such cancellation clause. So TET never be a cancel. If they want to, only NCT can do so. No other authority. Second thing, notification টা দাও 2022 এর notification. I just spoke from their own notification. My lord, this is a notification of state conduct notification, and West Bengal Board of Primary Education issued this notification in the year 22. I just saw one notification. Notification, got it, man? Notification for conduction of teacher eligibility test 2022 for class 1 to 5 by West Bengal Board of Primary Education as per the NCT guideline, because that is mandatory, issued by NCT from time to time and in accordance with law. All concerned are hereby notified West Bengal Board of Primary Education has decided to hold teacher eligibility test for the year 2022 on such and such days throughout the state in exercise of statutory power as per the NCT guideline and in accordance with law. So they mentioned it. Now, my lord, kindly come the eligibility clause. Para 1. The last eligibility clause. Graduation with at least 50% marks and B.Ed. What is, my lord?
Second.
No, my lord, last this column, first page, my lord. First page, last column, my lord. I believe, my lord.
Last column, yes.
No, my lord, first page. First page, last column. First page, my lord, the eligibility criteria, last column. Graduation, at least 50% marks and B.Ed. My lord,
Yes.
got it, my lord? So they themselves mentioned in their notification, graduation with B.Ed is the minimum eligibility criteria. Last location, my lord, and the very next page, after one page, my lord, what is the date of submission of online application in the year 2022? Page number 3. Just information and guideline for teacher eligibility test 2022.
Yes.
And the date of submission of online application 14/10/2022 to 3rd November 2022. Have they altered within that period their eligibility criteria? Answer is hereafter, my lord, they issued a notification. ওই নোটিফিকেশনটা কোথায়? উজ্জ্বলের হেয়ার পরে হ্যাঁ পেন্ডিং আছে। Thereafter, my lord, turn just few pages, my lord. Notification for enjoying edit option, and thereafter, my lord, on 7th November 2022. Just turn few pages, my lord. 7th November 2022 notification. Order ta down. SLP number 1 page order.
7th November, yes.
Yes. After closing of online application, my lord, they mentioned an SLP number. What is that SLP? In the matter of SLPC 20743 of 2022 and other connected matter to allow B.Ed candidate to participate in teacher eligibility test. SLP number is mentioned. And I got through it from the Supreme Court website. What is the SLP? What is the matter about?
SLP.
Got it, my lord? So that is SN Raja and another versus State of Kannada. That too after last online application. So, my lord, they after last date of online application, they mentioned a wrong SLP. They says it is a public notice. The public notice was given The rule of the game you can't change in a meeting of the game. Rather, they want to change the rule after completion of the game. Now, my lord, Debesh Sharma is annexed hearing. I believe they also. Tomorrow Debesh Sharma দিয়েছে তো নাকি?
কালকে
দেওয়া। তো ওটা কি মানে রিপোর্টেড ভার্সন না নন রিপোর্টেড ভার্সন?
সব রকমই দশ
Yes.
My lord, with this bunch, my lord, Debesh Sharma is also annexed because yesterday I believe the unreported version was given. That's why, my lord, I annexed that unreported version. Para 3. What was Debesh Sharma? What was all about Debesh Sharma? Because Debesh Sharma is not about TET certificate, is not about test. It's all about selection. And it's the para 3.
Yes.
Para 3, page 3, para 3. What lies at the core of the dispute before this court is the notification dated 28/6/2008, issued by the National Council for Teacher Education hereinafter NCT, made in exercise of its power under section 23, subsection 1 of the Right to Education Act 2009, hereinafter referred to as the Act. This notification made B.Ed degree holder eligible for appointment to the post of primary school teacher class 1 to 5. All the same, in spite of the above notification, when the board secondary education state of Rajasthan issued an advertisement on such and such date for Rajasthan teacher eligibility test, is excluded B.Ed degree holder from the list of eligible candidates. This action of the Rajasthan government was challenged before the High Court. The petitioner Sri Debesh Sharma has a B.Ed degree as per the notification dated. He was eligible like many other similar candidates. Consequently, he filed his petition before the Rajasthan High Court inter alia, praying that the advertisement number such and such be quashed, as it was violation of notification dated after issued by the NCT. Apart from the above batch of petition, there was another set of petitioners with their own grievance. There are the candidates who are diploma holder in elementary education, which was only teaching qualification required for teacher at primary level, who are aggrieved by the inclusion of B.Ed qualified candidate. They too filed writ petition before the Rajasthan High Court, challenging the legality of the notification dated such and such. The state of the Rajasthan understandably supported this second batch of candidates before the High Court, as they would do before this court. Out of the 3 writ petitioners before us, 2 are challenged the notification dated 28/6/2018. That is the notification of NCT. Because, my lord, if my lord take the bunch, what is the 28? Because I forgot it, my lord, pardon me. But what is that notification? It will be very helpful for this court also. My lord, 28/6/2018. What is the notification? My lord, kindly take that. 28 June 2000, in the spiral bunch, NCT bunch. Got it?
This one?
Or this spiral, NCT spiral. What is that NCT notification? Side by side, if these 2 notification pages, one is 2010 and 2018. 2018, 28 June 2018. If my lord handed over it, I can, when my lord can pay this.
So,
just my lord, I handed over. Pagination করুন। Got it, man?
Yes.
Because earlier, side by side, keep the 2010, just few page back. In exercise of power conferred by subsection 1 of section 23 of Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009, and in pursuance of notification number such and such, dated such and such, issued by the Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India, the National Council for Teacher Education hereby makes the following further amendment to the notification number such and such, that is 23rd August 2010, published in the Gazette of India Extraordinary Part 3, Section 4, dated 25th August 2010, hereinafter referred to as the said notification, namely, in the said notification in para 1, in subpara 1, in clause A, after the word bracket, graduation and 2-year diploma in elementary education by whatever name known, the following shall be inserted, namely, that means after that 5-6 line, that is or mentioned in 1A, this also includes graduation with at least 50% marks and Bachelor of Education, B.Ed. So that was under challenge before the Rajasthan High Court, already in Devesh Sharma matter.
Yes.
Later on, Malad, it comes to the Apex Court, Malad. The Apex Court says this notification gone. In the clarification says, the letter after in the clarification, that is also annexed with my petition because they elaborately placed it.
Yes.
Saving all the teachers who got appointment by the dint of this notification, their appointment is saved by the Apex Court. Apex Court is completely silent about it. Why silent? Silent cause of silence is that, my lord, in the meanwhile, because in that proceeding, NCT was the party. In this proceeding, NCT is not party. If wants to cancel it, appropriate government ought to make notification, because in NCT guideline, it is mentioned that it is lifetime validity subject to appropriate government. Appropriate government came with any notification? No.
Yes.
So only power emphasis, the power relegated to the NCT only. There is no such authority in the state. It is a central legislation. A state government can't say so that no, we will cancel it, because education is a contrary subject matter. If
What about clause 12?
Huh?
You have shown clause 12, clause 12 of NCT, clause 12 of the NCT guidelines.
Yes. NCT, yes, madam. Only procedure on the grounds of malpractice and impersonation, the conducting authority, because suppose, my lord, in examination, suppose we want, that's the reason the NCT says if malpractices and impersonation, suppose instead of X, Y sat in the examination, impersonation and malpractices. If that two grounds is the only ground of revocation of TET certificate or cancellation of TET certificate, that is the procedure of conduct of the TET test. They can cancel their candidature on this two score, no other score.
Yes.
Now, my lord, after I just want to summarize my submission. My submission is that once a TET pass, always a TET pass. TET pass as an untrained, their TET certificate is also valid. Whosoever in service who not got service, they all are same. Their TET certificate is valid. With B.Ed degree, their TET certificate is also valid. Because on not that, I just want to show one to Hindastada. Earlier occasion, this issue came up before this court in Tuhin Das matter, my lord. Before recess, my lord, I stop. My lord, after recess, I stop. Tuhin Das,
So you will conclude right now?
by today, I just not more
No,
than
no,
20
conclude,
minutes.
conclude that. Conclude whatever you have completed. Again, after recess, you will start.
I complete. I complete in one go. That would be better for the
Because other,
for me also.
other probably Mr. Ahmed has already argued in the other matter.
Yes. I just show in the regarding 2020-25. I just show two notification. Nothing. Number টা বলে দিচ্ছি দুটো। তুহিন দাস 17750 W of 2018 হ্যাঁ WP ওই W এই তুমি জানো এটা সেটা বলতে নাকি 5 মিনিট
Which paragraph?
I first that is up to paragraph 2 because what is the case what was the case that is mentioned the following issue is to be determined in the case whether the respondent authority particularly the West Bengal Board of Primary Education is duty bound to issue TET pass certificate to the petitioner in terms of clause 11 read with clause 14 of the guideline dated 11 February 2011 framed by the National Council of Teacher Education. Fact of that case is very important. The petitioner case in a nutshell is as follows. The petitioner have participated in the teacher eligibility test 2014 in terms of the notification issued by the West Bengal Board of Primary Education on 26 June 2015 as well as the notification dated 12 October 2016. Further, the petitioner are eligible candidate for completing the selection process for appointment to the post of primary teacher through TET 2014. They also possess requisite qualification to participate in the selection process of teacher eligibility 2014 conducted by the West Bengal Board of Primary Education. It is also case of the petitioner that all the petitioner are B.Ed qualified candidate.
অর্ডার ডেটটা কবে এটা?
April 8, 2019. What is matter? B.Ed qualified candidate. Accordingly, the petitioner appeared in the written examination for TET 2014. On 26 June 2015, a notification on application form for TET 2014 was published by the West Bengal Board of Primary Education. In terms of the said notification, the eligibility criteria for appearing in the selection process as well as for appointment to the post of primary teacher through TET 2014 is quoted below. A person who has passed HS or its equivalent degree with 50% marks or has been graduate irrespective of the percentage of marks in such graduation examination from a recognized university in 2014 or before 25th May 2015 is only eligible as per the aforesaid notification. To get the form, result of the state examination was published on 14 September 2016 and petitioner got result through their internet from the website board according to their respective roll number. Despite being qualified in the TET 2014, petitioner were not supplied with the TET 2014 pass certificate from the West Bengal Board of Primary Education till date. Although the guideline dated 11 February 2011 issued by the National Council for Teacher Training clearly specified that the appropriate government conducting the TET shall issue certificate to all the successful candidates and the certificate should contain the names of the candidate that is mentioned, which I already. Unfortunately, the West Bengal Board of Primary Education has refused to follow the state guideline and arbitrarily illegally withheld the issuance of the certificate to the petitioner. And what was the submission? I just skipped Mr. Bhattacharya's submission, my lord. What was the submission before that bench, my lord? Para 7 onwards. The same submission by the par contra. Got it? Par contra, Mr. Such and such learned senior counsel appearing for the board submitted that neither the notification for TET 2014 dated 25th May 2015 nor the notification regarding scrutiny and verification of the testimony dated such and such which were prepared in terms of NCT guidelines describe the candidate person with B.Ed qualification as trained candidate. Therefore, all the petitioners having B.Ed qualification were considered as untrained candidates by the board. Accordingly, they were not offered any appointment. It was also submitted by Mr. Gupta that sitting in and appearing in TET 2014 examination will not confer any right to petitioner. So we are appointed as a primary teacher unless and until they are trained with the qualification of 2 years DLA. Course equivalent thereof admitted to the petitioner are untrained do not possess the qualification of 2 years DLA course or is equivalent. Therefore, the petitioner cannot claim appointment on the basis of the qualification of the B.Ed as a valid training qualification in selection for the 2016 through 2014. It is also contended by Mr. Gupta that inasmuch as the petitioner are not eligible for being considered for appointment as primary teacher in state of West Bengal, they are not entitled to get TET certificate for following reason. One, petitioner qualified state 14 as untrained candidate during relaxation period, as there is no provision for consideration of untrained candidate in the rules. 2. Untrained TETs qualified candidate are not given any employment as per MHRD dated such and such. NCT notification being such and such has substituted subpara A, para 3 allowing B.Ed qualified candidate to be considered as trained candidate subject to the fact that within 6 months.
Which is the proposition you are relying on from this judgment?
Ultimately, the court hold that, I not placed it, I keep that, ultimately TET certificate issued. So whosoever the same proposition was taken in that matter, that they are TET qualified with a B.Ed degree or untrained, so they are not eligible for getting TET certificate. Ultimately, court passed that you ought to give the TET certificate. They give us TET certificate after making this submission. Now, they want to reopen it again. That same proposition. That's my.
Because the appeal against Malad.
Yes.
Court modified the order.
Yes.
Okay, TET certificate issue. You place
This
that.
order was appeal against.
Yes, you placed it.
Ashun.
Now 20 regarding 23.25. I will just show I know but I just notification to that. But regarding 23.25, because this matter is all about 2023, 2025 is not about state. Notification to the junior release
Mr.
annex to the
Firdaus Samim, learned advocate for the petitioner. ক্যানটাও কি বলে দিয়েছি না? ক্যান ঠিক আছে। আজকে কি সেকেন্ড হাফে কন্টিনিউ করা যাবে? সেকেন্ড হাফে ওই বেঞ্চটা আছে না?
না
2:10
ওই এরা ছেলেগুলো দিল যেটা
আজকে বসবো না সেকেন্ড হাফে, ওখান থেকে আসবো। ঠিক আছে মিস্টার শামিম, হাউ লং ইউ উইল টেক?
another 10 to 20 minutes. 10 minutes, not more than 10 minutes. 10 to 20.
Okay. I have another bench with Honorable Chief Justice. So after that, I come back.
Yes.
You conclude your argument today.
But
so that
I will also conclude my argument. So then Mr. Sanal can give back his reply.
রাখো, আমি ঘুরে আসি।
Much okay.
নোটিফিকেশনটা বের করে রেখে দাও।
হ্যাঁ, একটু গুছিয়ে রাখুন।
হ্যাঁ,
এই বইটা ওনাকে দিয়ে দিন। এটা এই বইটা। চলো, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার। কন্টিনিউইং ম্যাটারটা নয়, যে ম্যাটারটা অ্যাসাইন থাকে দিন ওটা পুরো ছেড়ে ফেটে দিচ্ছে।
পিএম যেটা ফিক্স আছে 377 378 ও
না এটা নয়। 5 ডিসেম্বর কিন্তু লাস্ট এইটাই তো অর্ডার।
লাস্ট অর্ডারটা কবে হয়েছে গাড়িতে?
আমাদের এখানকার লাস্ট অর্ডার হচ্ছে 14 তারিখ 14
Vikas Ranjan Bhattacharya and a senior advocate appearing for the petitioner seeks for extension of the interim order granted earlier on. এটা দেখে নেবে না? এইটাই granted earlier on 16 September 2020. In view of such services, interim order granted on 16 September 2025 is extended till the disposal of the writ petition. So I'm making it till the disposal of the writ petition. In the meantime, fixing a date for hearing of the.
Yes, let it be disposed of, finally.
Please, this matter, January the date follow. এখানে শুনতে পাবো।
January to first week দিকে দিতে হবে।
কিন্তু disposal of the interim order.
মে মাসে চলে যান, তাহলে জানুয়ারি পেয়ে যাবেন।
Disposal of the writ petition.
6 তারিখ দিন 7th or 8th
Maybe
আমার এটা কি আছে জানুয়ারিতে কোনটা ফিক্স আছে বলো? তারিখ দিন 8 January
8th.
Yes, sir. Application, you have not filed any application for extension?
Well, do we have filed their application? They have filed the EU, but
No, for extension.
Lord, we have filed our affidavit in opposition.
Where
We
is that?
have filed our.
they have filed their opposition, let it on 8th of
Affidavit in
January.
opposition filed by
No, 28, my lord. We have filed.
না,
No,
সেটা
my lord, there's an issue. My lord, in the affidavit, my lord, kindly bears with me for 1 minute. My lord, Mr. Senior Bhattacharya is there. My lord, in our affidavit, we have taken a very categorical stand. My
Yes.
lord, if your lordship kindly sees, my lord, one paragraph Roman 9. My lord, if I may kindly invite your lordship to kindly page, my lord, 7 or 8, my lord, Roman 9.
কি বলছে রোমান নাইনে? বার করা ওদের।
yes.
My lord, kindly sees in that, my lord, we have indicated in that affidavit that, my lord, we intend to complete the constitution of the governing body. Constitution of the governing body. My lord, members have been nominated by the state, by the government. My lord, non-teaching representative election is over. At the instance of the principal of the college, my lord, at her behest, let the teaching staff election be completed. Let the principal.
Proposing this.
My lord, the principal of the college may take over the reins. She has taken over by virtue of the interim order passed by your lord. By virtue of the interim.
Yes, continue.
By virtue of the interim order passed by your lordship, my lord, we have not proceeded an inch. We traveled to the division bench. The division bench, my lord, affirmed your lordship's interim order. My lord, she is continuing as the principal. What I was humbly beseeching your lordship, my lord, let the principal hold that. That was her case. She wanted to hold the teacher council election. There are 3 members from the teachers council in terms of rule 5(3).
They want to make the petition infructuous. The appointment of the president is the fundamental question.
No, that there is no interim order. With greatest of respect to my learned friend. With greatest respect to my learned senior friend, my lord, I have the highest regards for him. My lord, the president's nomination, if it is in question, my lord, that is, even if it is a subject matter, my lord, the subject matter of the first writ petition was a show cause. My lord, and subsequent
Is
the
he
second
ready
writ
and
petition.
willing to get the matter hard? I am prepared. If he is ready, so let me proceed with the main matter. Let us see.
My lord, yes, let him proceed. My lord, that presupposes Mr. Senior Bhattacharya is not going to use a reply.
Affidavits have been filed beyond time. We could not
No, we have filed the affidavit within time, sir.
affirmation and amaka service tax.
affirmation is
Next day.
My lord, affirmation date is 28th and we have served in on 29th.
Let us come to the writ petition itself. If you so much interested,
So, Mr. Bhattacharya,
My
because
lord,
I cannot take it up because I am continuing with the matter.
that's I know. They want to pressurize, taking the advantage to something
no,
done.
no, sir. Sir, please do not make this statement, sir. Why should I pressurize the honorable judge?
Interim order টা বলছো তো interim order till end of January করুন Let the matter be heard on
Yes,
eighth
let's
itself.
hard on it. Let us see.
Extended.
Let him come with the instruction, my lord, on the, my lord, if I may.
To have the
Yes.
election, let us get into the merit of the writ petition.
My lord, let the.
Affidavit- Yes, fine.
But then, my lord, your lordship is declining that relief, my lord, kindly indicate. But we want to complete this process, my lord. We want to hold the constitution complete.
This prayer was made before. Lordship was kind enough to refuse it. Even today, if they are prepared, let the matter be heard out any day. I will come down from Delhi.
But yes, my lord, I was beseeching, my lord, if it can be heard this side of the vacation. If it is possible for your lordship, my lord, 5 minutes, my lord, for us.
What I'm asking is not this side of the vacation, in the first week of January after winter vacation, on 8th it is fixed. Now I am extending the interim order till the end of January.
Yes.
In the month of January, complete the entire hearing.
Yes.
That is all.
Very well. As your lordship pleases me.
Affidavits look
Lord, I was appearing with Mr. Panda, my lord.
affidavit. Mr.
Lord, I
Bhattacharya
was,
filing any reply on the written
In the meantime, we shall file it.
affidavit
Lord, I was,
filed on behalf of respondent number 7 to 10, comma 8 to 11 and 18 to 19 are taken on record, copy served.
my lord, I would have loved to assist Mr. Senior Bhattacharya.
তুই একটু চুপ কর অনেকক্ষণ বকেছিস
মামলাটা করুন না স্যার
Hold on.
আরে আছি গো
grateful to your lordship. But kindly do not take this, my lord, into stride.
Okay. 6 to file affidavit and reply. Let such affidavit and reply be filed by the returnable date. Advance copy be served upon the learned advocates for the respondent.
Let's fix on 8.
8.
Mr. Shobbosari Chatterjee has no audience in this matter. Lord, let his application be dismissed.
No, I have always right
On 8
audience,
to
Mr. Bhattacharya.
At 2 p.m.
My lord, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
My lord, one matter is appearing as item number 11 today. My lord, this is
Grateful to your lordship.
number 12 in today's list. My lord, this was upgraded on the basis of mentioning. My lord, 9th is the last date for making the application for the recruitment process.
See, we'll go one by one. Don't worry.
So,
Yes, Mr. Ahmed.
কিছু তুমি তাহলে আমি ছোট ছোট নাম দিয়ে দাও এটা দিয়ে
WPA নাম্বার
এ দুটো হলো দাদা একসঙ্গেই ছিল ফর দ্য পিটিশন
before recess, I believe my whole submission was that TET once a TET pass always. Now I entered in the main writ petition because of that. Although this was not a subject matter of the writ petition, but due to the point taken by the West Bengal Board of Primary Education as well as the added party, they raised that point. That's why for the satisfaction of board as well as the added party and for the satisfaction of the court, I placed that matter. Now, my lord, what is the subject matter of this writ petition? All the petitioner herein, they are TET qualified, validity for lifelong, and they are now pursuing 2023 to 2025 batch. DLED, my lord. All the petitioners herein. My lord, my contention is that, my lord, first, my lord, kindly turn page number. Online notice release folder, release order. 107. Page number 107. Release order. তোমাদের বিয়েতেও আছে রিলিজ pertaining to what
The earlier occasion, this has been shown.
shown. So, they released on in the month of June 2025. Why they released on? Although I don't know that whether in any writ petition this notification is annexed or not, my lord. এটা হচ্ছে ওই 28/6/2024 notification. আমি তোমাকে দিয়ে দেব, কপি দিয়ে দেব তাহলে। This is the notification in the year 2024 because DLED is a 2-year course. After completion of 1 year, my lord, they give this notification. May I read this notification, my lord? Notice for the head of the DLED institution recognized by NCT and affiliated to WBPP. 1, para 1. Although the para 1 is not so relevant, but I placed it. All the heads of the DLED institution are requested to release the deputed student, if any, of second year DLED course of session 2022 to 2024 in the afternoon of 36/2024. The second year fresher student of the said session may also be released accordingly. The release order certificate may be circulated to the respective student of the said session. That is in regard to 2022 to 2024. Very next paragraph, that is regarding our session, para 2. This is also to notify that the first year student of 2023 to 2025 session shall be admitted provisionally to second year classes in the month of June 2024. So first year ended in the month of June 2024, and after that, kindly read, my lord, 107. That second year end on the 30 June 2025. So my session is from June to June. It is evident from their notification itself. Now, my lord, kindly take the NCT DLED course guideline. না বাঁচ লাগবে না এনসিটি কোর্স গাইডলাইন এখানে অ্যানেক্স আছে but very next page of my writ petition
2.1.
yes my lord 2.2 duration and working days. I read it, my lord, slowly because as per my humble understanding, subject to correction of this. The DLED program shall be of duration of 2 academic years. So that is a mandatory instruction on behalf of NCT, 2 academic year. That would be the course duration. However, the next word is very important. The students, not by the authority. Wording is very important. However, the student shall be permitted to complete the program within maximum period of 3 years from the date of admission of the program. Why this is given? Because of that, my lord, suppose a student took admission in the DLED program. That ought to be a 2 years course. If suppose a student failed the first attempt, then he could get a second attempt. For that reason, it is a student-centric approach by the authority. That is not a Article 12 authority-centric approach. So it is a mandate upon the course conducting authority. You ought to complete that DLED course within 2 academic sessions. However, a student might not pass in first attempt. So a student-centric approach is given by this norms and standard by the NCT that, however, they complete their course within 3 years. That doesn't mean it's confer any right upon an Article 12 authority that they will stretch the course beyond 2 years. Now, my lord, kindly, in the respect of this release order, in conjointly reading with this norms and standard, all the candidates ought to given result. It is bounded duty upon the authority. And why, I will explain. Right to education একটা দাও। teacher ratio টা বের করো schedule rules 2016. Yes, got it. May got it. So, my lord, so why this is two things I want to, my lord, canvas before this court. One is that frequency of TET. My lord will remember in guideline it is said at least once in a year they ought to conduct TET. Number one. Number two, the DLED course is time specific with a mandatory mandate. They ought to pass that DLED course, they ought to complete the DLED course within the stipulated time with a definite reason. Why? What is the definite reason? Right to Education Act came with a definite object. What is the object? Giving quality and standard education to all the child throughout the country, the same standard of child with a definite number of teacher. What is the definite number of teacher? Kindly take section 25 of the RT Act. It is a bounded duty upon the state. Pupil teacher ratio. I want to canvass it, and reason of canvassing I will explain. Section 25, pupil teacher ratio. Got it, madam? Within 3 years from the date of commencement of this act, the appropriate government, in the case of, in our case, there is state government and local authority, shall ensure that the pupil teacher ratio as specified in the schedule is maintained in each school. So, throughout the country, every appropriate authority, it might be the state government, it might be the central government, it might be the local authority, that means local government, they ought to maintain the pupil teacher ratio. 2. For the purpose of maintaining the pupil teacher ratio, under subsection 1, no teacher posted in a school shall be made to serve in any other school or office deployed for any non-educational purpose other than those specified in section 27. That is for non-educational purpose. That means voter work, and for that reason that is mentioned. But section 27, I just skip it. But kindly take the schedule. Page number 16. Schedule 1. What is the pupil teacher ratio ought to maintain? Number of teacher for first class to fifth class. Page 16 of that books, my lord. What is the pupil?
It's 60.
16, 1 6. Rules bunch.
Yes.
So, my lord, number of teachers for first class to fifth class admitted children up to 62 teacher, up between 60 to 93 teacher, between 90 to 120, that is 4 teachers, between 121 to 12, that is so forth. So, my lord, they ought to maintain the pupil teacher ratio for every school throughout the country. Keeping in mind this recruitment, governed by the recruitment rule, and that recruitment rules also, I believe my friend Malad already handed over, although I don't know the page number of that. That's why Malad I handed over it. Malad, this recruitment rules.
Yes.
311 এটা তো 2016 amendment. First, my lord, take 2016 rules. This rule may be called West Bengal Primary School Teacher Recruitment Rules 2016. Time to time it is amended. All amendments annexed herein. I just place the vacancy position. Got it, my lord. Fifth page, from fifth page.
First one.
Yes, my lord. From
One.
first page to fifth page, my lord. This notification dated 2nd March 2016.
Please tell me the rule.
This rule may be called West Bengal Primary School Teacher Recruitment Rules 2016. Got it, my lord? If my lord not get it, my lord, I just handed over my copy, my lord, return it back. My lord,
Wait. Yes.
What is
It is 2nd March 2016.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, my lord, this is the rules, and time to time this rule amended. Last draft amendment, as per my understanding and
Yes.
subject to correction and kind approval of by this court, my lord.
Yes, vacancies.
My lord, I just place the vacancy position. Rule 2S. This rule made under which provision of law? First, I placed it, my lord. Under which provision of law? Whereas the draft notification to frame the West Bengal Primary School Teacher Recruitment Rules 2016 was published as required by subsection 1 of section 106 of West Bengal Primary Education Act 1973 in the Kolkata Gazette such as such. This rule came under section to attend free and compulsory quality education to all the students.
Yes.
Whose age group is from 6 to 14. How this quality education came from the quality teacher, and the vacancy position, it is mentioned para 2S. Vacancy means vacant post of primary school teacher arising by way of creation from the state government, retirement of teacher, date of teacher of declaring